Good morning, everybody. I'm Yvonne with Southern Designs and Finds, and welcome to my segment of Craft Round the Clock. It's good to have all of you here today. I'm going to quickly see if I can find myself live on my page so I can see comments. Okay, there I am. Okay, so when you see that red live button up there, you know I'm live, and you can make sure you say hello to me. And if you don't see that live button, that means red live button means you're watching replay. And I'd love to have you say hello there so I can see who's watching on replay, and I try to respond. So let's get started this morning. I'm not seeing any comments yet, so hopefully, well, there's one right there. Hi, Gail. How are you? Good morning, my friend. I see one there, but I don't see any over here. So that's why we have two devices going on here. So I don't know if I can swipe it or what, but I can try to do something here, see if that worked. Hi, Carolyn. Good morning. Hi, Louise. Good morning, everybody. So I am seeing a couple right there. We'll see how long that stays on there. Mr. Facebook throws all kind of things at us, doesn't he? Hi, Louise. So good morning, everybody. Grab your coffee and let's get started crafting this morning. I'm going to be using a Dollar Tree wood cutout pumpkin, and I had several of these left over, and I'm trying to use some of these up. I don't even know if they have them in the Dollar Trees anymore, but got something in my eye. But anyway, you're from Spokane. Well, how is the weather there in Spokane? Are you seeing any signs of fall yet? We are. And Louise is from Pennsylvania. So I'm going to paint this real quickly. Hopefully I can get it painted quickly with some Waverly Plaster Chalk paint. This is just my favorite go-to off-white, kind of a farmhouse white color. I'm going to paint the front and the back. The reason I paint the back, obviously, is just to give it a more finished look. But my friend Cindy from the Shabby Heart by Vines, she gave me a tip, and I've shared it with some of y'all before, but if you paint both sides of these really thin wood cutouts from Dollar Tree, they won't warp, because they do tend to warp because they're so thin. So that's just a little tip that I wanted to pass along to y'all, is to go ahead and paint the backs of your projects, and it'll keep them from warping. Hi, Mary. Good morning to you. See, I've already started losing comments over there again. So, but I'm just I just want this to have a lighter background, because I am using some lace to cover this. And I want to make sure that the brown or the tan natural color of this doesn't show through. So, anyway, I'm just swirling it on and doing it every which way here just to get it on. So this part's not important. Now the back, I might try to paint it a little bit, a little bit neater. How about that? So, hi, Renee. Good morning. So at least I'm still seeing comments scroll over here. Oh, there's my friend Diane. Cheers, my sweet friend. Is it a cheers, and to any cozy morning beverage you choose. That's right. Whatever y'all drink. What do y'all drink in the morning? Do you drink coffee? Do you drink hot tea, cold tea? Do you drink a soft drink, Dr. Pepper, or an energy drink, or whatever? I was wondering what y'all might be drinking. I mean, not everybody likes coffee. A lot of people like the smell of coffee, but they don't like the taste of coffee. And I have to admit that Mr. Wonderful tells me that the right way to drink coffee is to drink it black, to get the full rich benefit of the taste of coffee. But I can't do that. I like a little coffee in my cream and sugar. How about that? Hey, Amanda, how are you, my friend? I see you there. And there's Miss Helga. I drink hot chocolate. Darlene drinks hot chocolate. Well, that's always good. Chocolate, any time of the year to me is good. So, okay, so let's get the back painted, since I already have my paintbrush out and doing this. And hi, Becca. So I hope my internet is going to cooperate. You drink coffee in the morning too, Heather? Yeah, I have to have it. I have to have it. I usually drink just 1 cup, sometimes 2. Lately it's been 2 because I'm not sleeping well. So sometimes I just have to drink, you know, go ahead and do a 2nd cup. So, oh gosh, I forgot to close that door to Mr. Wonderful's office. So he's on the phone. So I may have to leave in a second. I'm surprised he didn't close it. But I'll go over there and close it. So good morning, Claudia. We were just discussing who drinks what for their morning beverage to get them going. Some people like Mountain Dew. Did you know Mountain Dew has a ton of caffeine in it? That's a southern drink. I don't think it's sold up north. It might be sold up north. I don't really know. I don't even know if it was sold in Kentucky, where my mom's family's from. But they didn't call soft drinks. They called it pop. And I always thought that was so funny because we say Coke because, you know, Atlanta is the hub for Coca-Cola. And so we say Coke. And so anyway, but some people drink soft drinks. You are one of those people, she said, that likes the smell but hates the taste. That's quite all right, you know, and not everybody likes coffee. Like I said, I have to have a little bit of coffee in my cream and sugar. So I've been drinking coffee since I was probably, oh gosh, I don't know, 10 or 11 years old. My daddy got me started drinking it, and my mom made it really sweet like that. And I would just sit down in the morning and have a little cup of coffee with my daddy. So, you know, it probably wasn't good, but that's how long I've been drinking coffee. So probably I'm 69, so do the math. All right, so I've got the back painted here. It's painted. It's not looking the best, but it's painted up. So let's get this dry. Oh, it's my morning coffee in my very special cup from a very special friend. I know. If I could find a vendor that could make these for me, I'd sell them. Tim ordered these from me from Vistaprint, I think it was. Vistaprint. And they were just too cost prohibitive per cup to try to sell these, you know. So I sent one to Diane. We call soft drink soda. Okay, Donna, where are you from? A good stout cuppa of Scottish breakfast tea with cream. Oh, that sounds good, Laurie. You said you had Scottish roots, or are you Scottish full blown? You're gonna love that Careth House. It's got a European feel. It's a winery we've been going to. It has a beautiful building, a European looking building made out of rock. And like I said, I don't know what they'll do in the cooler weather or the winter, but they bless the vines. He serenades the vines every Friday and Saturday evening from 5 to 6, or starts at 6, I think it is. And he walks the vineyards and plays the bagpipes, and he ends the bagpipe serenade with Amazing Grace, which I thought was really cool. So it's kind of cool, but it's a beautiful place. It has you know, every winery is different, but I love the atmosphere there. They have an outdoor porch with umbrellas, and then they have indoor upstairs, all kind of tables upstairs. So you say soda in New York too. Well, see, my relatives said pop, and I think that's what they said in Iowa too, when my sister lived in Iowa. So you love coffee cups, Angela? Well, maybe I'll have to see if I can't get any. But of course, the way the post office is right now, I don't know. I just don't know if they would even make it. So I've had to refund more money because of damage from UPS ground and the post office. So it's not quite dry. Let me get this right on the edge here. I'm gonna wipe my hands off too. Probably should have painted the edge better than I did, but it's all right. Let me just get it a little bit drier. I'm gonna clean my hands because I've got paint all over me, and I don't want to get it on the lace. So you call it Coke? Yeah, Tracy D. See, Atlanta's the hub for Coca-Cola. And, I mean, obviously they offer Pepsi and Mountain Dew and all that kind of stuff, but we've always called it Coke. you know, so, everybody's so different, isn't it funny? Everybody's so different. We called soda tonic in Boston growing up. Really? I've never heard of it calling soda tonic. That's probably basically what it is, right? So, yeah. That crazy gal. So, I'm going to clean my hands up a little bit here. Apologize for doing this, but I don't want to get it on my lace, okay? And I'm going to show you what I used for the lace. There was a lady that I just sold the one I made last year or year before last. I went through my bins and I sold a lot of my projects that I made for fall. And most of them, I've got a couple still left in the store. But, so she had messaged me and she said, do you have another one or can you make another one? Well, I had enough lace, I checked, to do this, but it's not going to be exactly the same. We call it Coke and ask what kind of Coke do you want? Oh, really? Do you really? And so, yeah. Well, there's cherry, you know, there are different Cokes, cherry Cokes and all that, which I love cherry Cokes. Did any of you ever used to put peanuts in your Coke? I know that's probably a Southern thing, but I love taking a glass Coke bottle and putting peanuts in the Coke and drinking it. That was always a favorite of mine to do when I was growing up. And every now and then, if I find a Coke bottle like that, I'll do that. I'll just get a little bag of peanuts and do that, just as a little snack. All right, high rows. So we've got our wood cut out, painted on both sides now. Gosh, okay. Yeah, I should have cleaned my surface, because see, I got some on there. All right. Let me get that off. Let me clean it up just a little bit here, so that I don't ruin the back of it. That did come off, but it was a kind of a glob there. All right. At least it'll get the worst of it off. Okay. Now that we've been doing a little bit of house cleaning here, like I said, I just don't want to mess up my lace, if I haven't already. So I'll tell you about that too. I do that too with the peanuts and soda. Isn't it good, Hilka? Are you from the South? You are. I know you live in the South, but I wasn't sure if you were from the South. Your daughter-in-law calls it pop. And you do put peanuts in your Coke. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? I don't know how I get off on these tangents of our conversations. Okay. What I use for lace is, I bought this at a thrift store. It was a lace blouse, okay, lace shirt. Had 3/4 sleeves, and I've already used part of one sleeve. I don't know what I used it for, but I must have cut it off and used it for something. But in the back is where I've been cutting out the 2 pumpkins. And it has a lace liner. And I think what I did, and I think I might have gave $1 for this, but I think what I did last time is I must have cut it, you know, when you cut it, the liner and the lace separate. But I think I must have left it attached at the top or something, because I don't remember having to do this. So yesterday I took Mod Podge and tried to attach these together, and what a mess did I make. And then I took some fabric glue and just went around the edges, but I made the huge mess. But I wanted to keep the lace and the backing, you know, together. So I must have left part of it together and then just glued the rest of it. That's the only thing I can remember, because I'm not sure I even saved the video for that one. I don't know. But that's where I got this lace from. And you're from Arkansas, Fatima. Your auntie from Arkansas used to put peanuts in her bottle. Okay, so see, the Midwest must do it too then. Is that considered Midwest? I did that with Pepsi. Guess that is a West Coast thing. Yeah, Pepsi and, you know, so like I said, we just call it Coke because we're from Atlanta. And so, okay, I'm going to take and put some of the fabric Mod Podge on here. I honestly can't remember if I used the spray sealer when I did this last time, because I sometimes will use, I used to use the spray sealer made by Gorilla, but it's really strong, and you really need to spray that in a well-ventilated area. And so I'm just going to try it with this. If this doesn't work, then I'll probably go over there and get a sweater that I've already cut out to make a sweater pumpkin, because somebody requested that. So anyway, I messaged the lady and I said, I'm making another lace pumpkin. It's not the same flowers, but if you're interested, you know, let me know. So if not, then I'll put it in my store. Okay. So this fabric Mod Podge is super, super thick. I even just misted some water in it just to get it not quite as thick. Okay. So I just want to make sure the edges have some Mod Podge on them. And if I have to glue it, I will. But, so, alrighty. And let me get my wipe down here. Alright, I'm gonna get it all stuck on here. Okay. I'm gonna go close that door too while I'm at it. I apologize. Let me do that. Okay, I apologize for that, but he's on the phone and I didn't want it to distract from us, okay? I did get a microphone. I don't, well, we had it actually. I've got to test it out. I don't know whether to go in my private group and test it or what, but I don't know if I just plug it into my iPad or if I have to do a setting on my iPad. Now this one has a cord, so I will have to plug it, you know, have the cord attached. It's not a wireless. So I don't know. I really don't know. So I'm going to lay this down and hopefully it's all gonna stay. And good morning, Miss Patty. I'm gonna see if there's any questions here. You're passing the biscuits. Thank you, Sherry. That sure does help us out a lot. And I really want you to know how much I appreciate it when y'all pass the biscuits, sprinkle and share. That does help. You grew up in Texas and love peanuts and Coke, but my favorite is Dr. Pepper. A lot of people like Dr. Pepper. I like Dr. Pepper in the fall. And what is it that we used to put in our Dr. Pepper to make it kind of spicy, like a spicy fall drink? Oh, that went down good. It did. So I like that in the fall. I do. And I don't know if it has any more caffeine in it or not. So isn't it pretty, Diane? This is just a pretty shirt, you know, blouse that I found that I'm using. So when you're in thrift stores, look for stuff like that. I also found a little lacy skirt, or a child's skirt, and bought it and used it before. I had pink lace. Didn't grow up drinking pop. I'm originally from the great state of Michigan. Pepsi was, and Coke was the main thing, I guess. Okay. And still don't drink pop. Well, that's fine. I rarely do anymore at all. Just because of the acid in it and the caffeine and all that. So I just drink coffee and zero sugar peak tea, sweet tea is what I use now. I'm trying to watch my sugar. You like an ice cold what? Dr. Pepper. Yeah, they're good. But I gotta remember what it is that you put in Dr. Pepper to make it spicy. I got a gnat in here. I can't remember. Maybe it's just plain old cinnamon. Okay, so we got the lace on here. I'm going to trim it. Okay, I'm going to trim the edges. Anyway, so we've been talking about that. Good morning, Yvonne. How are you? So let me trim the edges off, and I'm going to put some jute around the edges of this too. So I hope I'm using my fabric scissors, but I'm hoping I'm not catching some of that wood with these fabric scissors. But the last thing I want to do is ruin my fabric scissors, right? Maybe I should use my other ones. Sometimes you catch that wood. You don't mean to, but you do. See if these work any better. Make sure that it's adhered pretty decently. So you see, I'm getting the edge of the wood, and I don't want to do that with the that's coming off nice. With my good scissors over there, I try to preserve those. Those aren't the cheapest. Those are Gingers, is that how you say it? Ginger fabric scissors that I've had for years. I don't even know if they've ever been sharpened, but I have not used them on anything but fabric. So, but I may have to find somebody that can sharpen them for me. See, some of that glue is making it hard because I had to glue it with some fabric glue together, which some of that I'm cutting off, but it's already adhered on. So, but I think once I put the jute around the edge, we're going to be good to go. So this was just a repeat. Somebody asked me to make one, and so I'm gonna make one. But you know, a lot of y'all didn't see the original one when I made it, and they're just pretty to put on an easel, or you could actually put it on a plate holder, you know, and hang it on your wall in place of something else you've already got on your wall if you wanted to. That always works out pretty good. You know, or just those plate hangers that you don't even see, you know, behind you, that you just do. So I've always just put them on an easel and had them in a vignette for fall. But this is sort of, I guess you want to call it shabby chic or whatever. And so yeah, here we go. So that came off. So let me put a little bit of Mod Podge on here on the bottom of this. I'm just going to put it on this brush right here. And it separated a little bit, but I think once I get my jute down, it's going to be okay. All right. So, let me see here. What are y'all saying? A&W. Oh, yeah, I like root beer. Oh, yeah. Root beer floats. Oh, my gosh. I'm going right to the ice cream here. Root beer floats are good. So, good morning, Rhonda. But yeah, we used to have an A&W restaurant that we would go to. That was always fun. All righty, I think I'm good with those scissors now. All right, so what I'm going to do now is instead of clipping off the stem and putting a piece of bark, you know, that you get from Hobby Lobby, those little rolls of half bark, I'm going to cover this one with this fringed velvet ribbon, frayed edge ribbon from Hobby Lobby. And this is the color Clay. Okay, it's a really pretty kind of a burnt orange rust color, because I'm using some leaves and greenery type stuff, that florals that have that color in it. So I couldn't decide whether to use the brown. There was a russet, which is sort of a reddish brown. But I'm going to take it and we're going to start up here on the edge, just because it's lace. I don't know. I just thought it might be a little bit different to do. But I want to try to get it high enough to where I can glue the edges together right here, which is what I'm going to do right now. And just glue the edges of this fabric so it kind of covers up the edge of this, the stem here where it's not showing. So, did I get it? I think I did. Yep, I got it closed there. So I'm going to begin by wrapping it just around. I'm not going to glue anything in place yet until I get it placed, but I might glue just a couple of little rolls there. And kind of see what we get here. It's just something I thought about yesterday. I thought, what can I do with a stem, you know? And I thought, well, let's try the velvet. So I think I'm going to like that. Yeah, I know I'm going to like it. So I'm going to glue it right here. And then we'll cut it off. Just like so. So I'm going to just kind of go through and do a little bit of gluing right there. Just kind of glue it in place a little bit. Of course, I'm getting glue on the back side here on the ribbon. But I think that's going to look good. So here's my stem. Wasn't that easy? Look at that. So see, it just kind of, it gives it some texture and gives it something different to look at with the you have some old mugs that are very old that I keep in our freezer. Ooh, and we make root beer floats. Oh, that's good. With Bluebell ice cream, Judy, that's good stuff. Bluebell ice cream is good. So that's my stem. What do y'all think? Y'all like it? I like it. So let's see, I'm over with at 11:30, so I think I'm doing good. So let's go ahead and take my jute and let's begin just lining the edge of this with the jute. I don't have to do that, but just in case it wants to separate, it would make it a little harder. So I'm going to start up here at the top, and I'm going to use my little detailer glue gun by Shabonder here. I'm doing the top. I'm going to start it at the top and into the top because we're going to have stuff covered up here. It'll be covered up. So I'm going to start that. Thank you, Yvonne. It's kind of different, you know. You just got to love a Shabby Chic lace pumpkin. Yeah, it's different, right? It's different. So, y'all know I love to decoupage. And, of course, I'm probably going to be decoupaging some more for fall and, of course, Christmas. I want to use some of my molds, too. So, we'll see how that goes. So, this just puts out a thin line of glue. But it does want to, it wants to glue, it hardens up a lot faster though, so, a lot faster, so I don't know how this is going to work, because I got to cut off a little bit of that edge right there of that lace, but it does want to harden really fast, and let me get some more glue for that. You just use these really, I'm using these really thin Shabonder glue sticks in this. And all right, sit down. All right, let's get this going here so we can decorate it. I think I might have to stand up to do this. Okay, I'm gonna stand up. I'm a stand-up crafter. You got stand-up comedians. I'm a stand-up crafter. So, where do I what? Where do I buy what? I saw come. Did I miss your Monday story? I'm gonna tell it. I am. Where did you buy your tub? Oh, these tub of towels. They came from Home Depot. Home Depot has them. Lowe's has them. You know, over where the cleaning supplies are. It was like $16 for this tub of towels, but they have lanolin in them. Vicky Hartman Mason is the one who turned me on to these, but they have lanolin in them, so they you know, are good for your hands, but they are very tough. They clean up messes great, and then our builder was using them, and so I thought, you know, I'm gonna buy some of these, and so, but you get 90 towels, so you know, you get a fair amount of towels. But that's where I got them from. So let me tell you about yesterday. Yesterday was going okay, you know, regular day, and then Jennifer texted me and said, are you home? And I said, yeah. She goes, can I bring lunch? Well, I didn't get to answer her for that text because I went outside to look for her, see where she was, if she was driving up or whatever, you know, and I went outside. Good grief, I'm going to have to, see, that came off. So I'm going to glue this on the edges here where I used the Mod Podge. Getting glued on there. So anyway, I heard Annie. I heard Annie and I saw Annie braying like crazy. Now that's nothing new with Annie. I mean, any of the donkeys, they what does that want to go in there? They bray, you know, and that wasn't really anything. But she was running back into the paddock, and I thought, what are you doing, you know? And so all of a sudden, I turn around. I'm at the front part of my house, actually, is where I am when I saw Annie doing that. Well, I turn around, and at the corner of the house, guess who is standing at the corner of our house by our driveway? Can you guess? It was Gracie. She was peeking around the corner, just looking at me like, hello, I hope it's okay that I'm here. I'm not liking this. Gee whiz, I think I'm just gonna, I don't know if this is glue. But anyway, she was standing out there. She had gotten out. We had a fence fail. And so, Mr. Wonderful, everything is temporary with him. It goes, this is just temporary. This is just temporary. Drives me nuts. Well, fenced in part of the pasture behind our house temporarily. Just put a smaller little area of a fence, okay? Well, none of our fences right now are electrified, but they seem to have done okay with that. But I noticed that Gracie we let him out in that smaller part just to give our other pasture a rest. And I noticed that the other day, she was sticking her head through the fence part of two of the wires, eating grass on the other side of that fence. And I thought, surely she won't step over some of that and get out, you know? That's what I thought. I thought, surely not. Well, surely she did. I don't know how she got out, what she did, but and see, at night I close it. I won't let them out in there at night because I'm asleep and I can't watch them. And so I wasn't doing a good job watching, you know? And she had gotten out, and Annie was letting me know that she got out too. She was, you know, going nuts. And so I guess because she got out of her sight. And so I think I saw that one spot that she got out of, that she must have stepped through everything and got right on out. So she saw the promised land, let me tell you. So I'm going to clean those edges up a little bit after my live. But she saw the promised land, and she was not going to go. I mean, you know, she's not halter trained. I had a halter on her in the very beginning when she was born, and then got lazy and didn't continue to work with her. So, and then if you did get, you know, the halter on her, like Jennifer came up and I said, this is why I haven't answered you. And I called Tim and I said, can you come out here and help me? Gracie's loose. So he did, and he went and got some I ran and got the animal crackers, the tub of animal crackers, and I shook them and I gave her some. And you don't make any quick moves with these donkeys because they'll run the opposite way. And they've got a side eye. They look at you with their side eye. And they can see you. That's why, you know, they're so good with predators, is they can see, you know, their vision off the side of their eye and stuff. So anyway, so he went and got some grain because she would follow me a little bit and then she would stop. And Tim had kind of come up behind her, and that startled her. So she ran. So while he was getting the grain, I was trying to lure her back to one of the gates. And I don't know what happened, but then she decided she was going to dart off real quick and run down the driveway towards the road. And I didn't run. I just said, come here, Annie. You have to be really patient. And I said, come here, Gracie, you know. And I kept shaking and she'd come and I'd give her a little cookie, and I had her walking, following me like the Pied Piper. But so when Tim got the grain, he put a little down and she ate a little bit. And then by that time we had gotten into the backyard. And so she followed me with the grain, and he was going in to close one of the gates so that when I opened up a gate, the horse and Annie wouldn't get out. And so I was able, because Annie was right there waiting on her, like, come on back in. You know, she followed me, and I opened up the gate, and I kind of blocked Annie, and she went right on back in. And I said, good girl, you know, but then I was mad at her. I was like, I cannot believe you did that. But so anyway, I didn't have to say a word to Mr. Wonderful. He was like, okay, he says, I'm going to deal with that before the sun goes down, which he didn't, because we were having internet problems, which we still are. So anyway, that was my adventure yesterday. It probably took me about 30 minutes maybe. And Jennifer, in the meantime, had gone into the barn, and she had gotten any kind of rope and halter she could find, bless her heart. And I said, well, I was going to use that. And Tim said, yeah, but getting her to, once we got the rope around her neck or the halter, getting her to move towards the gate, you know. So we were able to lure her back into the pasture paddock with grain and cookies. So they're not going into that spot anymore until he's got all the fences fixed and all of that. So I am not going to risk that again. And now I'm afraid that now that she's gotten the hang of it in the other pasture, she's going to do the same thing. So, but there's a sturdier fence there too, so. But I tell you what, if she gets out, she gets out. I'm about had it with these farm animals, so. They've gotten out before, and Sarah was here. Both of them got out. And our neighbor had the traffic stopped on the main road because they had gotten off on the main road. And so it was pretty scary. Okay, I'm going to glue this edge. How we doing? Okay, we got 10 minutes. We're doing good. All right, if I see any edges coming up, I'll do that. So here's my the edges there. Let's see what y'all are saying. Hey Tiffany, how are you? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know it was just so, I was a wreck, and Jennifer was like, I said, now you know I didn't answer your text. Did you want her to bring lunch? And I said, come on in, and I was a wet noodle by then, you know, I was a wet noodle. So here we go, I've got the edges done, okay, I kind of cleaned up, and I'll go back and trim it. So, oh goodness, let's go ahead and get the greenery on. And I have this bush here, okay, that I'm using the leaves from. And then I'm using this flower, which I thought was really pretty together. And so, let's see. I've got the leaves already here. I did not get any of my moss, so we're not going to have moss underneath. So I'm going to clip that stem and just kind of play around with the placement of these things here, and see how I like it before I do anything else. So, but that's my story. That's what happened yesterday. So good. Oh, the worry is very real. I mean, I have to look out every morning and make sure they're there, and I go and sometimes I'll walk out. See, I can't see the back pasture. It goes down, and I don't know if they're there or not. You know, I mean, I really don't. All right, I'm going to glue these down. So, and, you know, the deer, they come in and they can mess up your fences. You know, when they jump the fence. So, you know, occasionally I do walk out there because I have to do a fence. You know, walk the fences, and then if we have a storm or something like that, I have to walk the fence lines, or Tim does, one of us. So, so I'm just basically taking and gluing these leaves down. That's all I'm doing right now. And I'm going to put my flower on next. Oh, I wish I had my moss, but that's okay. That's all right. I probably should have taken this thing off, but I didn't. So let's hold that down. Hello from North Carolina. How are you, my friend? I know the adventures of Annie and Gracie, right? But Gracie let me know that Annie let me know that her daughter was loose, and she was going nuts when she didn't see her anymore, because she had come up the side of the house and was peeking around the corner at me like, I think I'll try to disappear, you know, and all that good stuff. But she got caught. But it's a good thing I went out, because I would not have known. I would have just assumed she went over into the other pasture. I would not have known. So the good Lord was watching out over us all yesterday. I literally would not have known that she got out. I mean, that's just all there is to it. So, all right, we're doing good in time. That was my worst fear, and I told him that. I said, I don't like how you've done this fence, because it's part ribbon wire, and then it wasn't electrified, which he said he would do, and he didn't. So, you know. So anyway, okay, I'm going to layer these gold leaves in here to kind of break up the brown. I didn't want to use a whole lot of the gold leaves because this flower has some gold in it too. So, but anyway, I don't know what's wrong with that flower. I think it separated on me here. So let me add a little glue and kind of tack it up a little bit. Kind of bring it back together here. I made the flower smaller, so it kind of separated on me a little bit. I thought I had it glued, but it was a pretty big flower. Okay. Alrighty, let's see here. Let's see. What am I missing here? We have sheep, and they got out of our fence once, and I had just landscaped around our home and garage. Oh no, Linda. They had eaten most of your landscaping. Oh gosh, and your gardenia. She was over there eating my muley grass that I just planted the day before. She was doing that. She was over there eating that, so. Yep. But once she got saw the animal crackers, she was like, okay, I'll follow you anywhere. And the grain. I'll work on that flower. I've got to glue it better than I've done there. But I think I glued a petal together. Anyway, so y'all get the idea here. I'll fix it. So that's what I have so far. Isn't that pretty though? I like it with the velvet stem. Isn't that pretty? So I have some of this rust colored, I call it greenery, but it really isn't greenery, is it? I'm going to just add that in and kind of stick that in there. I really want to take that flower off and take that green thing off is what I want to do. But anyway, let me get that. Got that one, and I've got this one over here that I thought I would put somewhere. Let's see. Do I want it like that? I don't know where I want it. Can y'all see what I'm doing here? Probably not. I may add a third and have it coming down. But we'll see. Because I'm running out of time here. Running out of time. So I have that. Like that. And well, I do have the third one here. I might have that one coming down like that. I always like to do that. I always like to have one, and I'm going to separate it a little bit. I like to have them kind of two at the top and one kind of coming down at the bottom. And so that was my adventure yesterday, and I hope I don't have that same kind of adventure anytime soon again. All right, so I have this stuff here. I don't really know what it is. I bought it. It's kind of like a berry. I don't know what it is, or seeds or something. I'm going to add these to the top and break up some of that rust there. And I'm going to stick that in there. Like I said, I don't know if this lady's going to want this one because it's a different look. It has different flowers and things like that. So I'm not sure if this is something she's going to be interested in. But if one of y'all are, just let me know, and the next one in line we'll get it. So, and I can either send you an invoice or put that one there. Or I can put it in the store and you can go order it from there. I need some moss, so I'm just gonna put some moss in after my live and kind of put it in the top like that. And so let's see. I want that there. Yeah. So I may be adding some more of this stuff too. Where's my glue gun? So I can stay a few more minutes longer. She lets us do that. I just don't want to cut into too much time for our next presenter, but she does let us go the full hour if we have to. But I at least want to get it mostly finished for y'all. I mean, my time is basically up, but I want to get it at least mostly finished. And but I am going to put some, and then I've got this stuff that I got at Hobby Lobby. It's pretty stuff. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty. So I'm going to stick that in there too. I just like to layer everything. and get it on. Get it more in the camera shot for y'all. Let's see. I'm going to put that one there. Kind of put it underneath that one. But like I said, I like to layer and do that. And so what do y'all think? Y'all liking it so far? I can't see comments over there on my camera, so it's just saying everybody's watching. Oh goodness, do you use a glue gun with a rechargeable battery? I don't. Mine's plug-in, Yvonne. I don't like the rechargeable ones. I have one, and it doesn't last very long, and it's super, super hot. I have burned myself very badly with that. I'm going to add some more of the wheat looking stuff and that kind of thing too, and I'm going to work on my flower because it wants to kind of fall apart at the base. But isn't that pretty though? I like that. I'm going to pick another one of these off and just see if I like it down here, which I think I'm going to like some more down here, kind of coming down. So let's get that glued on. So I prefer the plug-in. I do. Some others may not have a problem with that, but I just remember mine being super hot. Matter of fact, I think it's in Tim's workspace now. I don't know if he's ever used it or not, but that's where its home is now, because I don't use it. So but I burned myself big time doing that. So I'm gonna glue that on, but I like it coming down, kind of swirling around the base here. And but you just got, bad thing is you got to remember to pull to turn off your glue, unplug everything, which I do a good job with that. I do. So I think that looks good. So I do like the stem, that color. See how it blends in with this? I do like that, how it blends in with that. I call it greenery, but I don't know what it is. But this is that fringed or frayed edge ribbon from Hobby Lobby, velvet ribbon. I love to get. And so this is what I made for y'all today. It's still just showing that everybody's watching. Okay, I see one comment. Thank you, Helga. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. Thank you, Vivian. Y'all are sweet. Thank you, Ruth. It looks good from here. Good. I think I'll probably do a practice live in my group, see what the microphone sounds like. I don't know if I have to turn on Bluetooth or what I have to do. But that's my lace pumpkin there for y'all. And I think it turned out pretty. It's different. Like I said, I got to work on my flower a little bit and get it, but I wanted it droopy, but the base is trying to come apart on me. But I like that. I may tweak it a little bit and add a few things here or there. I had some berries, but I wasn't really sure. Oh, that fell off. Or did I even put one on? Maybe I didn't put one on. I thought I had put one of these at the bottom, but I guess I didn't. One of these little things. But maybe I didn't. So I'm going to, let's see. Where do I want that one to go? Well, I'll fool with it and see if I'm even going to use it. I may not even use it. So anyway, but that's my project for y'all. And it's stayed down mostly on the edges. If there's a couple of places, I'll glue the edges down. And do I sound okay? I have complaints that I don't, and I have people saying that my sound is fine. So I do have a microphone that Tim had bought me a long time ago, and I just didn't want to fool with it because of all my debacle with my sound. It took over my sound, and no one could hear anything. And we couldn't figure out what it was until we realized it was my mic. So I'm gonna try that one and see. And but I think that turned out really pretty. And we'll tweak it a little bit here. And but again, that is lace that came from a blouse from a thrift store right here. And it had a lining on there. And so like I said, you could put a plate holder on there and hang it on the wall, or just put it in an easel and have it stand with a vignette. and I think it would be really, really pretty to do in a vignette. The sound is perfect, see, and the sound is good on your end. I don't understand, and I'm not saying that the people that are having a hard time hearing me don't, because they say that they don't have problems, don't have any problems hearing other crafters. Now, maybe they have a microphone, I don't know. But anyway, but I'm doing my best to please. I can't please everybody, but I'm trying to do my best to kind of reach a happy medium there. So I've already started losing people, which is fine. I'm hoping you're going to refresh your page and watch the next crafter that's on live now and craft round the clock. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to get me a little picture here so I can have a little bit better thumbnail, you know, because Facebook always picks out the worst thumbnail for your videos. So okay, so at least I have one at the end here I can pick out, hopefully, and use that. So thank you so much. They are neutral. They are, with a little bit of rust. They are a little neutral. They are neutral. But I love the flower and everything, and I think it all goes nice together. So very, very softer, subdued, a little bit of a subdued. There's a little bit bright, but it's more of a softer color palette, I think. And I think it looked good with that lace. So thank you for joining me today. Y'all have a fantastic week. I don't know when I'll be live again, but I will definitely let you know. Bye-bye.